Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're doing well. Um, a lot of people have made comments about, or rather given opinions on the Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk press conference. I made remarks saying that I find the whole thing boring. I find Fury's spiel boring. I thought the press conference was dull. But some of you have a different opinion, and some of you seem to have either you're reading too much into it, or you've seen things that I didn't see, which either of those is possible. I know, for example, Chris Andre found the press conference quite interesting and made some comments, which, I respect Chris's opinion. I think Hatman was another one who said he made some observations about it. And on the other hand, you've got Lee over at Inside the Distance. He was saying he kind of agrees with me that he found the whole thing kind of tasteless. He made a video saying he finds Fury to be just, sort of in the gutter. Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, I just think that the whole thing is just... With Fury, there is no wit, there is no intelligence about his trash talk. We're not talking Muhammad Ali here. We're talking a bloke who just throws around insults and profanity. I mean, it's all... Look, if that's your thing, fine. To me, it's boring, okay? And I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong. Everyone has their own different tastes. I find it dull. If you don't, great, fill your boots. But as far as reading stuff into it, into the press conference, into what we saw, maybe I am missing something because, like I said, people whose opinions I do listen to and very often agree with, they're clearly seeing something that I'm not seeing. Because it seems to me that that press conference revealed that Fury just talks a lot of crap, which we knew anyway. I didn't see anyone particularly triggered. I made a comment. The one thing that really did stand out was when, I mentioned this in my previous video, when, what was his name? Old Dev Sandwich. He said something like, what did you think about Tyson Fury when he got up into the ring and confronted you? And this was after the Ngannou fight. And Usyk said, and this was very telling, Usyk, typical of Usyk, he said, well, after the Chisora fight, he got up and he was very, I don't know what the word he used was, happy, animated. This was when Fury was right in his face and Usyk just sort of stared through him. He said he was very happy, but against Ngannou, he was exhausted. It's kind of like a little... You're saying something there without actually saying it. In other words, he'd had life and death. He was exhausted. He was taken to the... right down to the wire by a guy who was making his debut. It was a way of kind of nudging Fury in the ribs. And people have said, oh yeah, but what about when Fury was putting the head on Usyk? Didn't you see Usyk? Usyk was triggered. What do you mean he's triggered? If you've got a 6'9" bloke pushing his head on yours, what are you going to do? Invite him over for a cup of Darjeeling and a fondant fancy? No, you're not going to be happy about it, are you? In fact, if someone put their head on me, I'd shove them out of the way. And yeah, probably Usyk was a bit pissed off. Well, he's entitled to be. That's not being triggered. That doesn't mean he's going to go away, and get into bed and thinking about Fury. And no, it's just, on the spur of the moment, he was a little irate, which he's entitled to be. Well, if making someone irate by virtually headbutting them is triggering them, then yeah, okay. I suppose if it doesn't take much to, this phrase being triggered doesn't really have any great meaning. Oh, so you know what he did? He punched him in the mouth and he retaliated. He was triggered. Okay. Yeah, but basically I think Fury, if I had to guess, and it is only a guess, I think Fury was the more irate of the two. I don't think it was all for show. I think he knows that he's in a tough fight. And when he's been in tough fights, when he's seen someone as a threat, he tends to get most abusive. He did this, if you remember the first Derek Chisora fight when they were both undefeated, and Del Boy was giving him verbals, and Fury actually got out of his seat and wanted to have a fight there and then. He challenged Del Boy to a fight there and then. And Del Boy kind of, I wouldn't say shrank a bit, but he was like, really? Sit down, Tyson. And he kind of wound it in a bit. Fury seems to be the type, when he feels under threat, that's when he gets serious, and he is serious. And he is the one who can be triggered. Like, for example, when I can't remember exactly what happened because I was falling asleep during the press conference, but I think Usyk made a reference. Usyk's a Christian, isn't he? And Fury is a Christian. Well, they're both Christians. They both identify as Christians anyway, whatever that means. And Usyk again made a comment about, or was it Alex Krasik made a comment about Usyk was chosen by God and to defeat Fury or something like that. And Fury had the ump. He was like, no. I mean, God never, no way God would pick you to beat me. There's no way. Like he's gone the hotline to God. Did you say that about? Did you give Usyk? Did you put Usyk in place to beat me? You didn't. Oh no, I don't think you did. All right, cheers, mate. Maybe he's got one of them bat phones. Yeah, I don't know. This is all silliness, but you know what I mean. People, my God's bigger than your God. God said this. God, no, he didn't. I don't know how these people know this. As far as I'm aware, boxing matches are not in the Bible. There's no mention of Tyson Fury or Oleksandr Usyk, but there was some sort of friction there. But I will say one thing about Fury, and that is that when his back's against the wall, when he does feel, maybe fear's not too strong a word, he does concentrate and he does get down and dirty and he does get with it. That's when he operates best. Because if you remember, first of all, if you go way back to when he was, essentially he lost that fight, the first McDermott fight. Next time he fought McDermott, it was different. He stopped him. The first fight with Chisora, even though Del came in a bit overweight, Fury handled him because he knew there was a potential threat there. And especially the third Deontay Wilder fight. Do you remember the final press conference when he was swearing him in front of the TV cameras, using the C word? No one can beat me. Threatening to beat anyone up. I mean, it was his father's son at that press conference, effing and blinding, and he was going berserk virtually. And then you saw what happened when he got in the ring with Wilder the third time. Even though he got floored, he floored Wilder and eventually knocked him out, but he got floored twice, and he got up, and they both really went to the well in a very... it was a brilliant fight. It wasn't the most scientific of fights. Certainly wasn't the most technical. But both men, Wilder as well as Fury, showed an immense amount of fortitude. And Fury, had to battle through adversity early on in that fight with those two knockdowns. And even when Wilder wasn't going anywhere, because Fury pretty much, he won most of the rounds after the knockdowns. Even though Wilder was hanging in there and fighting back and was still dangerous, Fury still went forward, still was determined to get rid of Wilder, and eventually did. And Wilder, to his credit, he went down swinging, didn't he? Literally went down swinging. He got knocked flat, but my God, he showed an immense amount of mettle, of character in that fight. But so did Fury. And I think that's because he thought, this guy's a threat. Okay, I stopped him in the second fight, but maybe I ambushed him in that second fight. This third fight's going to be tough. It's like he knew it was going to be tough. Now he knows that Usyk is going to be a tough proposition. He knows Usyk could potentially beat him. So it would not surprise me at all if Usyk, because he's got Fury's attention, Fury will now go away and dedicate himself between now and fight night to getting in shape, mentally and physically, really focusing on the job in hand. In other words, being the absolute polar opposite he was for when he fought Ngannou. Wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw, a Fury who, I mean, he's probably never going to be 100% of what he was, but he's going to be the best Fury he can be at this particular point of his career. And that's a threat. That's a big, big threat. So, yeah, maybe people are reading too. Have I just read too much into the press conference? Maybe I have, I don't know. But I think I got the impression people were reading too much into it. But maybe they're seeing things I'm not, like I say. So what do you think? What do you think? Leave your comments below, of course, as always. And I'll answer them. I'll have a read and answer them. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think I've missed something? Yeah, just let me know. Just let me know. And yeah, thanks as always for your time. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the like button and the subscribe button. It takes a second, helps us out a great deal. And I will catch you later. Bye for now.